Welcome to GLS Carriers Presents Team Talk. I'm Ken Cox, and this weekend I turned mason jars into lights. Today we have Francis Ham.
Hi.
Kenny Kuntz. And we are
Drivers for Drivers.
Behind the scenes, we've got Danny.
Hey, what's up?
Danny, how do you say your last name?
Well, I say Lockmiller, but half of our family says other things like Loftmiller or stuff like that.
I'm not going to say your last name because I will butcher it.
That's okay. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So you guys may hear some sounds in the background. We've got construction going on. That's part of all the happenings that's going on here on the campus. They got some stuff going on in our new office, right?
We do. Construction is underway. They got the walls framed up and they're continuing to route electrical and wiring, and hopefully we'll be in there here in another month or so.
Now that's exciting.
Yeah.
You excited?
What?
You'll also notice that we've got some mics and some headphones, and so it's going to take a little minute or two to get used to this. We're getting fancy.
But don't you guys sound good? Aren't you like, man, I sound good? It makes me sound more masculine. Maybe you guys didn't have to worry about that.
Last week we asked the question, and I guess it would be 2 weeks ago, we asked the question, Danny, and if you'll put that down on the bottom there. So the answer to that is 52% within 5 miles and 69% within 10 miles. That was from Jake and James. Appreciate you guys answering those. I also had some other information come in from different websites and different sources. And so the numbers are close in there, but none of them are really exact. So that was kind of a weird question to ask, I guess.
Well, that's a huge percentage.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, you know, the whole purpose behind that is when you're finally done your round and done your trip and you're heading home, you know, within 10, 15 miles, 5 miles of being home is when the most accidents happen. And the idea is to get you home safely, right? Because when we end these episodes, we talk about, you know, we succeed when you get home safely. And that's the idea behind that.
Why do you guys think it is that's where most accidents happen?
Complacency. I would think, because after a long day of work, or you just, you know, you've been grocery shopping, you put all the bags in there, you're tired, you're just like, you get to that point where you're almost home, and then you just, all of the stresses and all of that just kind of go away. You're not really paying attention to the road. You're thinking about getting your groceries out. You're thinking about parking your truck, all the things that need to come out of your truck, you know, things like that. And you're not really paying attention. You're not giving your 100% focus on the road.
Agreed. You know, I know even myself, I've been driving home or something like that, and I'll say, oh, I need to stop at Walmart, or I need to stop at Walgreens. And before you know it, I'm pulling in the driveway and it's like, geez, what happened? You know, I forgot all about having to stop there for sure.
Mine's more, oh man, I forgot to get that while I was at the store.
So today we're going to kind of go over a few things. The Carthage yard, the updates on there, new equipment, market updates. Maybe dive into a little bit on why we, you know, decided to become truck drivers and whatnot. And with that, we'll start with Francis.
All right. Well, thanks. Glad to be back this week. Sorry, last week I was unavailable, but definitely back here this week, and look forward to putting this broadcast out and hearing some comments back from our team. So I think the first thing, Carthage Yard. So I reached out, talked with them just this morning, and they are progressing quite well. The weather is definitely favorable down there right now. They've pretty much got all of the topsoil is now removed, and then they're building up the pad area in the yard where the new shop will go into under phase 2.
Oh, sure.
So they're building that up right now. Aggregates coming in. They're pretty excited about staying on schedule, and I think it will be on schedule. I will be making a trip down there on the 12th and the 13th. of next month. So I'll be down there again to put boots on the ground and actually follow through with what's going on, just to make sure that we will be ready when they're ready to give it to us. We'll be ready to start trucking out of there. So
Right on. Do we have a ETA on when we can start parking equipment there?
I think we're probably looking at the second week of next month. So it's coming quick.
That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We've had some I don't know what the word to use is, but we've had some people already down there that are starting to apply and are interested. We've got a couple of our drivers up here that are thinking about moving to Missouri and being able to utilize that yard as well. So that's something to keep in mind.
You bet. A great community down there, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that brings up, I think we have a bunch of new trucks in, don't we?
We do.
Needing to fill with drivers.
We do. Absolutely. I had a meeting this morning. I was over at the yard this morning and I got to take a look at a couple of the new internationals that were over there. And, I go back and I think, remember the internationals of the 1980s, right? So
Old Eagle.
I looked over and I thought, hey, look at these trucks, really a good looking truck sitting over there. Popped the door open. I jumped up inside the cab. And I'm very impressed. Not only the internationals, but we had a new Freightliner sitting right next to it, and they seem to be really nice trucks. They look good. This will be our first go around with the internationals,
Yeah.
and I am looking forward to it. I noticed those trucks have 8 batteries on them. There's 4 batteries for the engine, and then the rest is for the unit.
It's an electronic APU.
Yeah.
And so when I picked one up and took it over to the yard, and when I was talking to Nathan over there at Rush Truck Center, he kind of explained a little bit to me about that. You can run your heater, you can run your AC off of it. Like the Cascadias, they have a start-stop mode. So you put it in the start-stop mode, and if those batteries start getting too low, I think it's 11.2 volts, it'll start back up, charge those batteries, and then turn off. Huge savings with fuel right now. Yeah, especially with prices the way they are.
Absolutely. Yeah, but pretty exciting. So seeing those trucks there, it's great that they're there, but it's not great that they're there. I'd rather see some guys behind the wheel and trucking down the road. So, anything that we can do to help people find us, as far as a carrier goes, we definitely are looking to grow our team, and we'd like to get as many candidates in here as we possibly can, start interviewing with them and get them out there on the road and really running for us.
Yeah,
Monetary value to that too, as well, for these guys. Yeah.
yeah. If you refer somebody, we're going to put some dollars in your pocket. I think last time we had looked at it for company drivers, you're looking at $2,000. For owner operators, you're looking at $2,000 plus $500 into your maintenance, and that's every driver. So one driver a month is going to put 26 grand in your pocket, 24 grand. Well,
Yeah, for the year.
yeah, for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're definitely serious about it. We're not going to go out there and just give $4,500 away per driver coming on. We believe that we are the preferred place,
I think so.
to work here. We've got good freight. We've got good equipment. Who better to speak to what we can do than our drivers? Our guys are out there and we're working with them every day and appreciate everything that they're doing. But any help that we can get would be greatly appreciated.
That brings us to, we talked about the yard update, the new equipment. Let's talk about the market.
The market, scary. Right now, what we're seeing, probably another 4 months, is what I'm being told. We're looking at the market being stagnant. There is a lot of customers out there that are looking for asset-based carriers, which is great because that puts us right there at the top of the list. And as we're working with these customers, they're opening up all kinds of lanes and areas that we haven't typically trucked in before. So we're looking at some of that and seeing what we can do to tie some lanes together and put some stuff together, looking at a freight triangle to be able to go out, get three loads in and get back to your starting point. There is availability of trucking just about anywhere. So if a person was to join on to the team and they live down in Tennessee or something like that, we can definitely run them out of there with our current business.
Sure. Well, I got a young lady I'm talking with right now. She's out of Kentucky, and she's thinking about coming on as well. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, all over the place. So Kenny, with all the sound in the background, with these challenges that we're facing with the markets doing what it's doing, what is dispatch? What is the team doing to help mitigate that? Keeping the drivers rolling
And I was just gonna say, make sure you put your face right up in there, Ken. Don't be afraid.
Sorry.
Talk to the microphone.
You mean like this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not that much, but a lot closer than what Ken was doing.
Well, the way with the market is right now, it's pretty tough. What we try to do is if we get hung out somewhere and as everyone knows, freight rates are tanked out. We try to tie them together with another run to make a guy whole. If he can do a whole round and make $260 a mile, then for the whole round, then that's what we're looking at to subsidize these lower rates. We also are paydays here Friday to Friday, so we're trying to get a guy as many loads in that pay period if we have to do a short hop or something, so that their revenue stays up as well. Those are the kind of things that dispatch is doing.
Right on.
You mentioned something about some of the people that you've worked with on getting loads before, and sounds like some of them have got very few loads to even choose from anymore nowadays.
Oh yeah, these customers just aren't giving the loads out. We're sitting there. They don't post them on any boards or anything. They'll give them to us if they have them first. And there just isn't any loads out there. I know you were talking, railroad was taking on a bunch of containers as well. I think when we was talking, it was 100 and some thousand loads a year.
Yeah.
So that's taking freight out of the trucking side of it as well if they're going to put it on rail.
You bet. I also read a little article in FreightWays today that talks about autonomous trucks. And in there, it mentioned that their Kroger's is going to use autonomous trucks in the Dallas metro area to run from a distribution center back over to their stores. So I know Dallas is a pretty busy market. Traffic in Dallas is pretty tough to get around in, and these trucks are going to be out there doing that. So we'll see how that plays out there, but something new, definitely.
I wonder how that's going to work with electric. Isn't everybody going electric now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Be stuck in traffic with no charger.
You think? Yeah. You think those electric autonomous vehicles are gonna have to stop for their 30-minute break?
I don't know if the DOT is going to put a rule in for that or not.
It brings us into a question that Mark had asked us as an hours of service question, and he had asked, what is the flagging requirement per FMCSA for on duty, and what are the time limits for that? So that's the question I'm going to pose to you guys. You guys give me some answers. See if we can't put a couple extra dollars in your pocket. See who gets it first. And where did you get that information? I'll give you a little help there. The FMCSA is really good source of information for that because they're our governing body for those rules. So check that out. There's a little bit more on there than you probably realize. So let's look at that. And then when you comment on there, you can obviously you can safety@glscarriers.com. You can go to our website, glscarriers.com/blog or glscarriers.com. And in the top right-hand corner of the website, you'll see the icon there for the blog. You can also comment on this YouTube channel. You can comment on the podcast platforms and whatnot. So just let's get those comments coming, and any questions that you guys do have, any comments, concerns, anything you guys want to put out there, stuff that you want us to go over, get it all in there. Let's address those concerns.
You bet.
I was just gonna say, I know that you guys are trying to get to comments within 24 hours. You try really hard to get to those. If somebody asks a question and you don't hear back from these guys within 24 hours, the best way to get a hold of them is that safety at glscarriers.com.
Yeah,
because it goes straight to, I think it goes straight to Ken.
It does.
So yeah,
I'm honored to that.
So if you haven't heard back from them, don't hesitate to reach straight out to these guys at safety at glscarriers.com.
Winner.
One other thing I like to mention is we're not the only ones dealing with this market. The whole trucking industry is that way. A lot of times we're doing a podcast for GLS carriers, but the whole nation's dealing with this problem. We're not just singled out, and our dispatch team will do the best they can to keep everyone whole and get through this.
You bet. You bet. I think what I'd like to do is each week when we get together and we talk, there's always things that I see and it's just reminders, I think we all kind of go through it when you're driving down the road and you see something or whatever. Do you think, well, I got to make sure that doesn't happen to me or something like that, This last week, the weather here where we're at, there's not very much snow on the ground. There is a lot around us, but here there isn't. But the one thing that we're seeing right now is wind, and a lot of wind. So, unfortunately, there's been quite a few trucks laying on their sides out there alongside the roadways. Just a reminder, if you're running down the road and you're hitting really high winds like that, make a judgment call. If you need to stop and point it into the wind and get that wind off of your side. If we have to wait it out. But the last thing we want to do is to have somebody going out there and getting hurt because getting blown over by the wind. This is the time of the year in the spring when the wind does typically cruise across. And here it's been abnormally high. And if it's high here, I can just imagine what it's like, running across Wyoming or something like that on I-80. It's got to be pretty spooky. So.
Yeah, and dispatch can also help you with maybe some alternative routes as well to get around some of that. Is who knows how long in Wyoming that wind could blow.
That's right. That's
Years. I spent 6 years in Cheyenne. I know it goes for a while.
That'd be horrible if they were like, yeah, go ahead and park and in about 3 months we'll.
Francis, you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think I pretty much add to every week. I got something to add on here, I do want to add something, and it goes to our team that's out there driving these trucks and making all this happen for us. I want to thank you very much for everything you do. It's a tough job. I understand that it's a tough job. You're very much appreciated in what you're doing. I know we don't get a lot of time to talk to you. Hopefully these podcasts can kind of relay that information to you, but definitely value you and appreciate everything you're doing to make us successful.
Kenny?
Just to add to that is, if these guys need to have a conversation about anything or want to know something in between these, our door's always open, our phones are always open. We'll be glad to talk to them about it as well.
Right on. Yeah, as you're coming through, typically we do these on Fridays. So if you want to, come on in, ask your questions going on, we'd love to put you in front of the camera and, broadcast you out in the world.
Absolutely.
Borrow my mic.
Hey, I have an extra mic over here.
Oh.
So as we end this episode, we want to thank you for being safe and making the right choices. Remember, you're the eyes and ears on the road. If you see something, say something. We all succeed when you complete your trip safely and you're home with your loved ones.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.